Hello everybody, welcome back. Jordan here. Today I'm going to be talking about Lego storage. And I'm actually going to be acquiring some items that are going to help me better store my Lego parts and also add a nice addition to the Lego room. Behind me you can see all of my containers that I use that are temporarily a mess here in the garage. But when we get into the basement, we're going to improve the way things are done. So essentially the Lego storage units that you just saw in the garage are going to be along the back wall there. And I'm standing where my desk will be. So let's head on out and I'm going to show you my new idea for Lego storage, which is going to add a nice new addition or element to this new Lego room. So when it comes to Lego storage, I would typically find myself at Walmart or Amazon or IKEA or something like that. But today we're doing something a little bit different. We're at Toys R Us where they're having some Bricktober sales for the month of October. So let's head on inside and I'm going to show you my new storage solution for Lego, which is going to add some spice to the Lego room. So our shopping adventure today requires a cart because we're getting quite a few items, not going to lie. So we were actually at Toys R Us not too long ago, earlier this week, when they changed over the sales for Bricktober, and I saw something I never really thought of it until I went to my buddy's house and he said, oh, I picked one of these up and they look great. And then I was thinking to myself, hey, we're a new Lego room and I really want to spice it up and add something different. So I've come up with a really neat idea. Right now they have Star Wars sets for, I believe it's 15% off. You can see the discounted prices. Also, Lego City stuff over here is 15% off as well. Some pretty good savings, I guess, on some decent sets. But the most substantial sale in this store right now is this deal right here. It's the large storage Silly Boy head. Regular $39.99, 50% off, $19.87. For sure, the best deal. You can also get this little tiny one, but the large one is the best deal in the store in my opinion right now. So I've got an idea with these and I'm gonna execute it right now. 1 silly head, 2 silly heads, 3 silly heads, 4 silly head, 5 silly heads, 6 silly heads, 7 silly heads, 8 silly heads, and 9 silly heads. Why on earth do I need 9 silly heads? Well, Lego silly heads have a stud on the top and they interlock just like Lego, and they offer some great storage room. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a pillar of silly heads full of Lego pieces in the Lego room from floor to ceiling. That's 8 feet floor to ceiling. So it's time to load up on Lego silly heads, I guess. Look at my cart full of silly heads, literally 50% off. I'll never be able to score them for a better price. So I can't wait to get home, fill them full of Lego, and show you my silly head Lego tower. And what a silly looking back seat. So I've transported all 9 silly heads safely here to the garage. I think we should bust them all open, see how they look downstairs, so you guys get a little sneak preview of the basement and how it's coming along, and then discuss what we're gonna do with these and which parts we're gonna put inside. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty tall tower of silly heads and looks pretty cool. The question is it tall enough? I don't know. Let's bring it to the basement and check it out. Okay, so I've moved the silly head tower down into the Lego room that's currently being built and put it into the corner by my desk. Hey, I put the flooring in and I want to talk to you about the flooring in this video as well. And there's the silly head tower. Oh no, it's not tall enough. No! Looks like I'll be going back to Toys R Us to pick up one more silly head so that we can put it right there. Although, maybe that'll be too hard to reach. Like, this is my max reach and it'll be not convenient to get the parts, because I am going to use these for part storage because it just makes sense, right? The IKEA cabinet will be right there. The silly heads will be right there. But you can see they're going to look fantastic in the Lego room, because essentially we're going to be streaming from this perspective right here. The desk will be right here, another desk there, computer monitors right here, and we'll be building right there with the silly heads in the background with the part bins. So in the end, I think it looks pretty good. If I go one taller, of course it'll look better. It'll bring it closer to the ceiling. However, it'll just make it inconvenient as I'll have to reach up higher to access parts. So I also want to discuss the flooring with you guys. During my last Lego room update, the flooring was not installed, and you can see that I've installed it here. And there was a lot of comments with opinions about the flooring that I selected. I selected the peel and stick flooring, which is pretty basic stuff. I mean, it's literally like a sticker. It's quick to install, easy to cut, really thin. And the reason I went with that is because, well, A, it was half the price. B, there's going to be shelving along here, shelving along there, tables right here, a narrow walkway right here. So literally 80% of the floor space in this room will be covered with Lego fixtures. So that's why I went with the cheaper flooring, because it's all going to be covered anyway. And this was much easier to install. And a lot of people say that it's going to start to spread over time. It's going to spread because of the temperature changes of the flooring, and the stick will release and we'll start to get cracks between the seams in our flooring. But I've experienced that before, and actually what I did is I just took the end boards and I used contact cement and I glued the perimeter down. And then when the perimeter is glued down and it's pulled away from the baseboard, which isn't installed yet, it keeps the center all in place as well. Let's bring those silly heads back into the garage, because obviously it's not done down here, and I don't want to have a tower of silly heads with construction workers down here, and discuss what we're going to do in regards to the part storage. Oh, and of course I want to show you this too. This is the silly head. If you just lift it off, it's essentially a stud, and then on the bottom of this one's the hole, and it goes together just like Lego. You just sort of plop it on there. Obviously it's a little bit harder to do with one hand, but you just sort of plop it on there just like real Lego. And it's a little bit wobbly, but once we get some heavy parts in there, it's gonna fix that. So what do I plan on putting in these large storage container heads? Well, just parts that I have essentially the most of. So probably things like light bluish gray 2x bricks, or dark bluish gray 2x bricks, which I have lots of, or oddly shaped light bluish gray plates, which for some reason I have a lot of. Even light bluish gray 2x or 4x4 plates. Just parts and pieces that I know I have lots of. 1x4s in brown, etc. And so then I can get rid of this large container full of bags, because this isn't optimal. It doesn't look good. These large containers don't look good. Obviously behind the Bricksie sign there, I've got all my classic containers, which usually are hosted in the IKEA unit, and those are the ones that are going to be beside the Bricksie head. But I want to also try and get rid of some of these ones that don't match, because they just don't look good in streams when it's different. So those, I'm not going to get rid of them, but they're going to go underneath the Lego City tables, and they're going to host parts that I don't use, such as like Duplo and stuff like that. But I want to put essentially bulk in here, pieces that I have a lot of, that are sort of hoarded away in bags and whatnot. So yeah, that's really about it for today. I took you on the shopping adventure to Toys R Us, where we picked up these silly boy heads for 50% off. That's 20 Canadian dollars each. I think it's going to look good. It's going to allow us to store Lego parts, and it's going to be a nice feature in the new Lego room. Stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.